Hello and welcome back to Marine for TCG. Drink of the day was a summer Red Bull. It's all gone. It's already in the bin. And today, the new starter deck for Katakuri is coming out pretty damn soon. And I've not done a video on this guy in a while, so let's check him out. The new cards from the starter deck, you've got the 5-cat. This synergizes perfectly with your leader effect. You want to play him on 5 or 6. And then you're going to get to ramp 2 back when you use your leader effect, pushing you up 1, which is awesome. And then your opponent just can't KO him. Because if they KO him, you get to summon this fella, who is pretty damn good. But first, if you're a bit of a gamer, you're going to want to check out Sleeve Chief this weekend. They've got a restock of their popular game console themed deck box. It's pretty cool. Look, you got the window on the front. It's supposed to be the screen. You can see your leader in there. Pretty snazzy. And not only is there a restock of this purple color, but they've also got 2 new colors coming out. We've got both bright green and bright pink. So if you need a bit of colour in your life and you're looking for a new deck box, check out Sleeve Chief this Sunday, 8 PM Central European time. You can also use code MARINE for 5% off your order. Thank you to Sleeve Chief for sponsoring this video. The other new SR from the deck is the 10-mum. This is a new top end. This deck hasn't really had a top end before. This 8-cat's it's a good card, but it's not top end. It doesn't do anything too flashy. So the 10-mum is greatly appreciated. It's a 10-12, great stat line. You get to Dom -4, which you can easily play for that cost between this guy and this guy. Then you get to trash 1 card, you get a heal, and you get to set the base power of one of your opponent's characters to 0. Important notes about base power. If more than one effect would change base power at the same time, the bigger one wins. So, for example, if you hit the 7-cost black Luffy, the one that was printed at Brook, that will not work. He'll stay at 9,000 base power, assuming that effect is met on his card. Because 9,000 is more than 0, as it turns out. Who would have thought? So do not hit that with this. And also the 4-cost Luffy can override if he uses his on opponent's attack effect. So again, avoid hitting 4-cost Luffy or 7-cost Luffy with this. But anything else, you just get to set a big guy's base power to 0. Obviously this is best into top-end decks, into Teach. You can set his big blocker Teach to 0. Into Mihawk, you can set Lord Beppo to 0. Into the new green Shanks deck, once OP17 comes out, you can set that Shanks to 0. And it's especially good into Rush decks as well, because that guy's already going to be tapped, so you can just swing straight into it. If their guy is not tapped, well, roll in MrMaCHONaCHOMan. This card is still so fucking stupid. I'm playing it 4 copies, of course, because I'm in purple, and it is just one of the best purple cards ever made. And it combines brilliantly with Lin Lin. You set their dude to 0, and then rest it. Bob's your uncle. It costs 1 card, but you also 2 cards, but you also get a heal and a 10-12. Insane. This does cost Don -6. If you have 2 8-cats on the board, that actually works. You'll go back to 8. You get 2 back from this and then 2 back from these. So then you can chain these. But do be careful of that. It's a lot of Don -. Other new cards from the starter deck briefly. We've got a Brule Searcher. It's a 2k, top 3 Big Mum. Solid. You're going to play 4 copies of this alongside your Pudding Searcher. And we're going to claim the One Piece Searcher. And also playing the Cracker. This is really good if you're on evens. It can pop a 2 and ramp, which is just relevant. The ramp is not as relevant because you're probably going to play this next turn anyway. Although if you're into a fellow ramp deck, maybe playing a mirror, you could skip this and go straight to Pudding, which is quite cool. But yeah, you're playing this just because it's a relevant body that gives you value and says remove a 2. Into GU Luffy, this is good. Into green decks, this can be good. To deny law. Into a Nell, this can be reasonable, although it'll get MrMaCHONaCHOMan immediately. But removing an Ohm can still be worth the value. It's a solid card. Not sure if you need 4 copies. You could probably go down 1. But yeah, it's still solid. And I'm trying the final card from the starter deck, Baron Tamago and Pecoms. Combines quite nicely with your Big Mum. Because this can set base power to 0, and then this can drive by them if they're on the board. But finding the time to play this card is very, very difficult. So okay, very early doors into GU, because you can start drive-buying Mr. 1, Mr. 2 and the Luffy. But outside of that, it feels really bad playing this on 3. There's so many decks that can interact with it before you get to 10-mum. So I'm not sure this one's actually worth playing. The rest of the deck is sort of fairly straightforward. I'm still experimenting with 2-2-cat. It hasn't been coming up a lot. Your curve is fairly strict, but it's a good card. If you whiff 10-drop, you can go 7 Pudding into 8-cat and then play out another one, which is some insane value if you get it off, but that is a big combo to be getting off. You can also turn him into 5-cat, which is kind of funny, I suppose, but not the biggest deal in the world. 3 Usahachi as our non-searchable 2k for resting blockers at the late game. Still playing the Pudding Kata combo because it's the best thing the archetype has for this starter deck. 2 Divine Departures for bricks, but also to combine with Mamaragan or just itself for power down. And 2 Hakai Ocean Sovereignty for the decks that like to go wide. Into GU, this is cool. Into anything that wants to go Borsalino, this is pretty cool for just getting rid of those Borsalinos, funnily enough. And even into Mihawk, this can remove like a Mihawk and an Odin, something like that. It's not the greatest play in the world because you're not advancing your board state, but you are removing theirs, which is not too bad. Finally, the other top end I'm messing around with is a Dofi. I've seen this in a number of Japanese lists. Feels really good. The only downside of this card is it is not searchable, but chaining this into those wide decks, like a GU, like a Mihawk, especially GU, just feels insane. Yeah, it just feels insanely powerful in that matchup. So that's why I'm playing him at 3 copies and the Mum at 3 copies. Mum is super searchable. This is not. You could maybe even go to 4 if GU remains a really important matchup. And there are other matchups where this is good. I haven't tested our GU Luffy yet. I've not run into any. But I can see this being pretty strong into that. You can stun like literally everything the deck plays except 10-drop Shanks, who they often don't actually play anymore. So yeah, I think this card has a lot of potential in this build. And super easy to chain with all your Don ramp effects. Either way, that's enough talking. I'll talk about some other options for the deck at the end. Here are a couple games with Purple Katakuri. Okay, got a game into Luffy. Not sure what's better to take in this matchup. I'm thinking maybe second, because that Cracker's pretty good. Just getting rid of one of his fellas. I'm thinking go second, look for Cracker. This Dofi should be really strong in this matchup. All we're missing is the Cracker, and we have double searches. And 8 Cat. I think I'll keep. I think I will keep. And we'll see what he gets, if he gets any Luffys. Okay, he does have a Luffy, that's nice. Mr. 2 comes out. We're really looking to see that Cracker. I think that's going to be pretty important here. Restand it. Does he have another one? Ooh, okay. Really good high roll from our opponent, getting double Luffys. That's strong. That is strong. Buggy comes down. Very nice. Don't really want to second one of you. We're going to be playing this out anyway, so let's go with the small search first. We'll take the Cracker. That's excellent. And then we'll go with the event. Yeah, I mean, we've got very, very little defense here. Because we need all of these cards minus one of the 5 cats. But we've kind of just got our curve. So that's pretty good. These would need a lot to swing. These ain't swinging. I guess he can technically swing with one of them. I actually don't have count if he swings 5 here with the Luffy. Which is kind of crazy, right? I mean, this kind of sucks. I could give up the pudding. We could give up the pudding. Going down to 2 here, but we're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of this. I don't think this is that bad. Okay, we find another Cracker, sure. We'll just take 2. We'll swing 2 into the Luffy. That was a... Yeah, 0 costs nice there, actually. Then let's just go 5. Never let them know. No effect on that. Don't need to use this. Game 1. Why did it say active? This comes in rested. Okay, this. Pass it up. Getting rid of the Mr. 2 is great. Getting rid of... I'm kind of surprised he did the 5-5. Didn't just like swing 8, but here's what it is. Here's Buggy Priz. Very nice. Restand 2. Do we have another 2 cost? That'd be pretty damn good if he does. No. I can afford to use a leader effect here because next turn we can't play Pudding anyway. We're just going to be playing out Katakuri. Maybe another Cracker if he plays another 2-drop. But I think Katakuri. So I can do this. DMG. Good to know. Good to know that's the card he plays. Because they don't all play DMG. And it's going to be a card he has. We have to be careful. We do have to be careful here. What's this 2 done for? Another Mr. 1. Okay. Baron Tamago would have been an interesting option had we drawn him earlier. But right now it's just a nice little 2k. I just Katakuri here? I think so. think we're just playing Katakuri. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to think about, is there? Just play this. I'll swing 6, because then we can swing 6 again. Okay, he has DMG and Let's Go. But this is going to be shit once we play out, like, the Doflamingo. Prisoner's a blocker. I'll swing 6. If he wants to swing into my Cracker, that's fine. Cracker's already ramped us. He got rid of a dude. And now he's bought us a 2k as well. That's pretty good value. Yeah, we're not going to 10 next turn, so we're going to have to live 1 turn. That should be okay. We can go Pudding Kata, draw some cards, and then the following turn is probably going to be the Doffy turn. And then we try and live we just try and live that long and go for it after that. Katakuri can't attack. Another Luffy. Crocodilo. So now he has DMG, Crocodile, and the Navy event. If I go down to 6, we'll draw to 8. Go down to 6, run back to 8, run to 9. I can use leader effect here, no problem. No, I can't use it on that. I'll save this for a 1k. He's still got the leader effect as well. I think I'll save this for a 2k and then let it go on the next swing. Yeah, that's fine. This could easily swing 7, right? That way we counted out of a bit more. Okay, Crocodile. He's not going to swing with it at all. Fair enough. So he could here be gearing up for his restand event on the following turn. But he's not going to have many dons to do with it if that is the case. Although we've got fucking a million bricks. We don't really have much of a choice though. If I had not used my leader effect like 2 turns ago, we could have played Tenkos Dofi this turn. But that isn't the path I chose. And this amount of bricks might come back to bite us, but we'll find out. Let's go with this. Okay, well, we can cycle out that event. Play the Kata. Gain 2 rested. Yeah, we'll cycle out the event for sure. I mean, it's not really what I was looking for, but it'll do, I guess. It's a 1k. Do you want to play this Pudding? Not overly. Not overly. Could find us a 2k though. I'm quite lacking on 2ks. Yeah, if we swing 8 here, sorry, 7 here, it's still only 2k, so swinging 6 versus 7 doesn't really matter. Okay, he's going to draw Mr. 1. He can, like, block 1k. Yeah. I guess that's the only difference, right? But he just takes anyway. Okay. Let's go with this. Find the 2k. That's nice. And then that is the turn. Nothing to restand, but we will get it on. Gonna go cancel on that. If he DMGs, that costs 2, right? Then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more Don. 5 swings. It's like it's tough. There's no perfect answer. We'll go no blocker and then give a 2k. But yeah, if he's going for the restand, it's just all 6s. Okay, he's not. He's going for another turn with the boa. That is fair. Now, how much of this does he swing? Is the next question. How much of this does he swing? Because if he swings like if we can clear like one thing. Okay, he swings this. Is he going to play a 2-drop over it, I'm guessing? He's already used leader effect. I doubt any of these swing too much bigger than 6. This is going to swing 5 for sure. I don't know if he'd want to swing anything else, though. I'm actually going to take this one. It's maybe a little greedy. But we'll find out. I don't think he's going to be too excited to swing anything else. And my gut is saying, okay, he's going to play a 2-drop over the top of this. Yeah. Buggy on top, okay. Now, we know he has DMG. Okay, he doesn't even play a 2-drop over the top of that. That's even better for us. Let's go 2 here. We get to Doffy, stun the boa, the crocodile, and the prisoner here, which is just kind of insane. He has 2 swings to go for lethal next turn. We have actually not that much counter. We have 3k, 4k, 5k, 6k leader, but we have 2 life. So it should be more than fine. Yeah, so just play this over this. 1, 2, 3. Do this one, stun this, stun this, stun this. Gain 2 rested. Then we'll go 5 with the pudding. He wasn't expecting that. Anyway, I expected him to play on the 2 cost over that Mr. 1. But he didn't. Is what it is. But yeah, we got to go 5, 6, 7 here, which should get at least a few cards out of him. Which is nice. And then next turn, we probably have to go for lethal ourselves. There's the buggy. Get a Brook out. Brook is probably his best lethal tool, I guess. And then, yeah, we'll go 7, which he can event this. He can maybe go Boa plus Mr. 3 this turn to buy 1 more turn. Yeah, he uses the event. We don't just win next turn. If we had a second one of these, that would obviously be insane. But yeah, there's going to be like Mr. 3 plus Boa, I'm guessing. Freeze the Katakuri. And then freeze the Luffy. No, freezes that Katakuri. Okay, so it's like double Mr. 3. Ooh, that's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty. Oh no, it is. Why do we not stun the Dofi? I don't know about that one. Why do we not stun the Dofi? I guess I can't restand it, but I don't know, man. You only swing this if you're also going to swing this. Yeah. Don't have a clear way to counter out of this. Just take it. Another 0 cost is interesting. Oh, okay. 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 I'm the best. I'm the best. It appears I'm the best. We do probably have to get rid of this buggy, though. So otherwise he can still pump through, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we'll clear this buggy. Maybe he can defend it, but it's like a lot of cards. Because we're going to get to swing another 6 into it as well. Let's go. Should have made this a blocker first, but probably unimportant. Actually, is important. Yeah, it is important that he didn't do that. Stun this, this, and this. Getting 2 rested. Then we swing 5, 6. Yeah, if this was a blocker, he could free block here. So, slight misstep from our opponent there, not making the prisoner blocker before letting the buggy go down. Top like a prisoner. Okay. Now, we know he still has the DMG in hand. He's countered with the buggy, so we don't know about that. Is that the third Mr. 3? It's damn Mr. 3, bro. It's too powerful. Yeah, it's the third Mr. 3. I don't know why he's obsessed with stunning this Katakuri. This one's simply bigger. I guess if he has another boa, he can do the same shit again, right? Stun this, but we now have 4 swings, and he's got a couple less. Not really. He's got like 1 less card in hand. We chewed through a prisoner and a buggy, which is iconic, I suppose. Does he have the 3rd boa? No. Ivankov. That's not going to be what he was looking for. We know he's a prisoner in his hand. And I know he still has a DMG. That's not the Mr. 3 he was looking for, although it will be decent next turn. Yeah, plays the Mr. 1 over the Imperio. Okay. I mean, this is just a freebie. Prisoner on top. Well, we kind of just got to go for it, right? I can't interfere with either of these, even though I have my Maragon. We could remove one of these. That is possible. But whilst healing. But I think it's just going to be too silly to do that. So we've got 5 swings. He's got 2 blockers. A lot of fucking Don active. These are all 3Ks though. So we can do what, like 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. 9 seems like a pretty good place to start, and then we can reassess after that. But I do believe we have to go for lethal here. DD plus Mama does negate one of these for what, 5 Don? Is that the worst? Maybe not. We do get the Navy event and the prisoner. Okay, I struggle to remember what is in his hand. We know a few things, but he's also drawn so many damn cards. We know he still has the DMG. So we could go 8 here. And we have 3 swings after that. Oh no, this isn't a blocker. This isn't a blocker. He only has 1 blocker, because there's no buggy on the board anymore. We can go just 4 10s. Seems reasonable. Feel like. Cool. Well, he has a lot of counter events. It's now better to DD this. I should have DD'd it before swinging with this, actually. Because we'll get an extra 1k. We can go... if we swing 10-10, he just blocks and has to counter 110. But if we DD, he has to counter a 5 as well. No, well, we've got an Usahachi off the top, I guess. 5-10. And that, like, should be lethal. The fact he had 3 counter events is kind of wild. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. That was the 3rd prisoner, or the 3rd Let's Go event. I mean, if he has it, he has it. It's pretty damn good if he does. If he has triple 2s. Fucking close. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That was incredibly close. He had 5k there. We did know about one of those 2ks. I forgot that. I obviously shouldn't have done it. Just searched it last turn. But wow, that was close. You see how good the Tenkos Dofi is, right? He stalled out just long enough as well, and we had fuck all counter in that early game, which made it a bit awkward. I mean, look, our hand is full of garbage. Like, these cards are really, really bad. These are not cards we want. If we'd had Usahachi instead of the Bummerarg DD combo, it would have been slightly better. And if he'd have just blocked that first 10k, rather than... Yeah, I suppose I should have, like, not swung 10 there. Maybe I'll swing 9 there. Maybe a swing 9 there. Maybe that's better. And then if he takes, we have just one more Don. So we can go 5, 10, 11. Whilst resting this. I should have 100% rested this, though. Before swinging with the Doflamingos. That was a big mistake. Which we could have lost the game. If he'd just blocked immediately. Because 5-15 wouldn't have been enough, would it? He had 6, 1 for the 5. Go to 11, go to 15, go to 16. So yeah, he would have exactly won. Yeah, I played that wrong. That was my mistake, but that was a really close game and a fun one. Congrats. And GG's to Massa there. The draw in the second Luffy was huge. We're going to teach. He's chosen second. Should be a reasonably tough matchup, I think. Although our big mum is pretty damn good at dealing with his stuff. We have our Charlotte Katakuri, which is sort of the main thing we're looking for on the odd curve. Don't have much for the follow-up, but hopefully this pudding can find us, either the pudding or the 8-cat. I'm going to keep, and I am going to play this in case he plays Lafitte. Okay, well, we get the 8-cat. That's going to be the one that we take. I definitely don't want another 5-cat. And then we'll pass it over. Next turn, I guess we've just got to slam 8. Unless he plays Lafitte. He did mulligan, so you never know. Might whiff stage. It's possible. They generally just hard mulligan for stage. Teachers. Vasco shot on a dot Q. Sure, if you like. Momorogan's nice to have. Do I want to play this? I don't think I really do. The when attacking's like... It's fine for clearing weenies, I guess. It can proactively clear them, but it costs Don, and it's just going to die after one swing. So, to be honest, I'm just going to do that. He can redirect into this and kill the pudding. I really don't care. We played this as a searcher, and I would have played it on 3 if I wasn't playing into a deck that had tap searchers. But because then you get to dig 1 card deeper, right? You get to draw that 1 card before you search. And 7 versus 8 makes no difference. But because he has the potential without the feet, I decided to just let's play it immediately. Get it out, get it done with. I think the great thing for him to do here is just take, but you can redirect into dot Q if you really want to. But I think that is going to be more important later. Yeah, and he does take and gets some kind of trigger. Doesn't use it, which makes me think 8 cost Blackbeard. You definitely wouldn't use that there. I feel like every other trigger... I guess Katarina you might not use. There's the Burgess. And then we'll do CF5. Obviously not going to use that one. I think I'll just take this first swing. Another Momoragan's kind of nice. And we draw the pudding. So we've kind of got the hand. We just need to see something for later on. Now, if I play this, we go to 6 Don. And I get to swing that a little bit larger, but he can get a 10 cost teach, an 8 cost teach trigger, which would be horrific. If I don't play this, we can still play the... If I don't play this first, we can still play the pudding. Next turn, we'll get to go pudding, reduce the Don. We'll stay at 8, which is pretty much good enough. It won't let us use the leader effect on defense. I think it's worth the risk. The odds of him getting a 8-cost teach here is pretty low. Shiryu, good to know. Yeah, the chance of him getting an 8-cost teach trigger is pretty low, given that I think he's just had one off the last life. And he might actually just counter this, because it's 1 card. He might. And this potentially lets us guard a swing next, or on his turn. If he plays this Shiryu and just swings 5, for example, we can use leader effect pretty freely. That's fine. Okay, too rested. Looks like he is thinking about taking, though. I don't care about any other trigger. Vasco shot, it's fine. It is Vasco shot, it's fine. Yeah, okay. End turn. Yeah, I don't care. I do not care. Yeah, sure, man. Sure thing. Am I going to attack this? I mean... It's good to get it off the board. Tosses Luffy to heal a Vasco. Okay. Well... I might attack it. I might attack with the Katakuri into leader. We'll do this. Jesus Burgess on top. Good to know. It's a freebie. If he wants to swing with this Burgess, that's fine, but I didn't think he would. Exactly. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do here is swing 7 here. I imagine he'll take this one. Could redirect. He's got the choice, right? If he wants to redirect into Vasco, that's not a bad thing for him to be doing. But we're going to get sort of the whole squad cooking here. And then all we're missing is a play for next turn. Which, if I'd had this searcher, I probably wouldn't have used the leader effect. But I wasn't to know, right, that I was going to top deck a searcher. But yeah, we'll go 7 Don for... We're not using leader effect, are we? No, because we're going to go back to 5, back to 7, ramp to 8. So we want to have maxed on. So we're just going to swing 5. We're not going to use that. And then, yeah, we'll just play the pudding into the Katakuri and then restand everything, which is awesome. And he does counter out with the Burgess. Sure. Then we'll go pudding, Don -2. We draw another pudding, which is alright. Then we'll gain 2 rested. End of turn, restand this. And gain 1 rested. Now, we don't have Tenmum for next turn. We also don't have Tenko's Dofi, which is a little annoying. Mama Argan's not doing very much either. It might be a case of player up pudding looking for another Katakuri to play off this pudding. I think I would like to stay at 10 Don in case we top deck, or I'm probably going to take 1 life here. In case we top deck or top life a Katakuri. Sorry, a 10 cost. But yeah, that I assume this is just Big Teach, right? No, I have to assume this is just Big Teach. We also have a lot of Gumph in hand that's not very exciting. These crackers and the 2Ks, you know. Mama Argan is only really good now if we find a mum. If we don't find a mum, this is kind of just a 1K. I can use it to rest some weenies, but it's value lost. Because it's unlikely we're going to be back at 6 Don anytime soon. I could have maybe used one earlier. Well, it's certainly not Blackbeard. 11 is a bizarro number. Sure. Sure thing. What are we just playing? Another Burgess? Swing 6? No. What am I looking at? Can block 2k, 1k, then I'm going to give him another 2k anyway. We could go 2k, 2k, 2k. That's bad. I think we'll just take again. He must have had just, like, fuck all. Which is kind of mad. Yeah. This doesn't hit anything. It's completely worthless. Yeah, cool. I think we're going to want to play the pudding this turn, and yeah, I guess we're just going to go pudding Kata again. He's with 8 costs, but we'll take that every day of the week. Don't think I'm going to bother trying to attack this Shiryu, because it's just kind of big. We have to attack with this first, because this trigger's coming up. Let's go 7 with Katakuri. If he chooses to like redirect this, then I might go after the Shiryu with our 8 cat. Swing like a 10 into it or something. But I very much imagine he'll just take the life and then maybe trigger the Vasco. That would be my guess. But we'll see. And yeah, a 10 mum would be insane here. Because we could reduce the Shiryu to 0 and just get rid of it, which would be awesome. But it's not going to happen. Yeah, he does take the Vasco, does use the trigger, can't rest anything, that's fine. Then I think I'm just going to swing 7 with the pudding now. Want to pressure 7s because he hates countering 7s, right? If we can get him down to sort of 1 life, and then he uses the redirect, maybe, then that's pretty good value. Okay, we do see the Black Vortex redirect into the dot Q. At least the dot Q is off the board. That works for me. And we do have the choice of attacking big into the Shiryu, but I think we're going to want to use the rest of the Don for Pudding plus Katakuri, which means we're only going to be swinging 6 with leader. But he didn't know that. We do have to play this first, which is slightly suboptimal because we swing out of sequence, but I want to try and find a Big Mum. Perfect. And obviously I don't want to play this over anything on the board. That much should be obvious. Now let's swing 6 with our leader. It doesn't actually matter if this is like a bugged interaction. Burgess, good to know. I think if I say 0, then this just actually like kills itself. So I'm going to press the 1. So I don't think we can use this on the next proc. Not by the way it reads it. It doesn't say, like, you may use this effect or something. It just says add Dom. It just says add Dom. So yeah, we both kind of whiffed a little bit here. He whiffed his 8 cost. We whiffed our Big Mum on curve. I'd say it hurt him more than it hurt us, but that's okay. And then, yeah, we'll go 8 here. Hoping for no 8 cost trigger. So all I'm looking for is no 8 cost trigger. This is here. This is getting big, this burger. Because all our board is going to stand up, he can't play into it, which is just brilliant. And then next turn, we're probably looking to 10 Mum, his 10 beard that he plays out. Well, I don't think countering that's correct. I think you should take that one, but I am not a Blackbeard player, so maybe I don't know just right. Don -2, we draw a bunch of dog shit. That's okay. End of turn. 1, 2. Game 1. 1. Choose game 1. Cool. Now we've got 6 swingers next turn. He's going to his 10 Don turn. He's going to be at 2 life. Which I think he'd be better off at 1 life with 2 extra 2Ks in hand, but that is a debate. That is a debate. And he needs 10 beard here. Like, this is what happens to this deck when you whiff the stage. He has Zihaha into 10 beard, indeed. Burns the Katakuri. Our hand's enormous, by the way. What the fuck? He's going to negate this and probably one of the blockers, which is fine. Which is fine. What's his swings? 7, 8, 7, 7, 8. Can obviously block a 7. We're going to look to counter some of these as well. And then got to work out whether or not I want to try and go again. Because we can remove the teach and go again, or we can just swing 6 times. We do have the choice. Right. 7. I'm going to take the free block. This is the smallest swing. This is equal. This is also 8, right? We're going to give 2 2Ks here. Or am I going to take? I think I'll take this one. There's a free trigger. Got a 2K? Yeah, I'll take a 2K. Take this. And then you can swing this one and we'll counter out of that, obviously. Yep. There's a 2K. And here's a 1K. Now, we have 5 swings. He can block 1 and redirect 1, so that's 2. So we need everything else to go through. I don't think that's too unlikely. If we start with 7... What's the danger if I go again, right? What is the danger if I go again? We get to remove this. We go back to 1. We have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11k counter in hand minimum. And we still get to put on an insane amount of pressure. I think I don't think there's any risk if we go again. We have enough counter to... Do we have enough counter to counter 7, 8, 8? Can do 2k, 1k on the 7, 2k, 2k on the 8. And we have a blocker as well, so we're fine, and we're gonna have another life. So yeah, there is no danger to go again. I'm pretty sure we have lethal anyway, but I want to play this. Trashing this shit. Game 1, set this to 0. Game 2, MrMaCHONaCHOMan. Press this. Swing 5 to 0. No effect on that one. Swing 5 to 5. Cool. What's the trigger, Batman? Is it something to rest this? It is something to rest that. That's actually kind of relevant. Yeah, we'll just swing again. But yeah, we have so much counter that it doesn't matter. We even drew a 0 cost, which is an exciting draw there. He whiffed 1 turn. We whiffed 1 turn. If he'd have played the 8 cost Blackbeard, and then we played 10 cost Mum, we're just kind of in a very similar position. Especially if we can chain this, right? Anyway, end of turn. Restand you. Game 1. Oh, and this was negated, so we don't actually get to restand the other thing. If he clears this, we get to play out a guy anyway, so he like can't kill this, and he can't anyway. Cause, yeah, we have a ridiculous amount of counter. He can't win. That's the game. His best play here is probably like double boss, but it's still not enough. We have the Hokai Ocean sovereignty, in fact, to kill the double boss. What a treat! What a treat! That's why I kept that over the Katakuri. This is like, I didn't actually clock that this wasn't going to stand up. But yeah, I kept the Hokai in case he does exactly this play. And there you go, exactly this play. Do I need the Don? Not overly, but I also don't need the cards. Then we've got 8/8. We can just go block 1, block 1. There's a Katarina on the top. Incredible. And then yeah, if he swings with these, we just go block 1, block 1. And then we're going to Hokai the Borsalinos and shoot. Block. You can have this crappy cracker. Block. You can have one of these puddings. Cool. We'll go with this. Don -2. Kill the Borsalinos. Game 2 rested. Then we'll go 7 lead. Swinging with this first, but even though the pudding is smaller because it's going to be Vasco triggered. We know Katarina's on top if he gets to draw 1. So that's good knowledge. And yeah, Hokai's just excellent there. It's just excellent there. Okay, well, you can do that, but you can't really get any value out of it. Stop me restanding a couple guys, but, you know. Or you can just kill this, negate it and kill it. It's fine. Okay, he did eventually KO the Katakuri. What a treat. Let's go 8 leader. Then we'll go 8 leader. Then we'll go 12 leader. And we have 2 more swings. Come on, bro. Finish it up. Yeah. GG's indeed. Yeah, GG's. Well played. Slightly better math is 9. It's 5, 7. It doesn't matter. We have a 12 that is going to kill him. GG's. He whiffed 1 turn. We sort of whiffed 1 turn, but had a really good backup. The fact that our board just restands is quite hard for him to deal with. And the aggressive pressure as well, with the Katakuri just being a really good stat line into Blackbeard, and everything else being above 6, means that Vasco's shot gets like no value. We play 1 Katakuri or 1 Cracker per game, and then beyond that, the Vasco just gets no value, so that's pretty good. And everything restanding means he cannot play board, even if he wanted to. And you saw the power of the sort of Mama combo. The 10 mum combined with the Mama Ragen to just remove anything. It's just so good. And you heal back, which is pretty cool too. Even the Hakai came in clutch. That was quite a good game for showcasing what the deck is about, actually. So even though my opponent did whiff a little bit, he whiffed stage, but this deck can do that. I'm going to keep this game in. Well played to your opponent. Let's move on. Going over a few other options. Firstly, in terms of 2Ks, let's actually filter this. Charlotte Daifuku is a backup play off of the pudding. I don't think you're ever going to want to replace this Brûlée. It's too powerful. But the Baron, Tamago, and Pekoms is definitely something you could consider cutting. It hasn't really been that outstanding. So the Daifuku is an option. I don't think Stroisen's ever worth playing anymore. Usahachi's just better. And we can have one non-searchable 2K. And also a lot of blockers now are 5, particularly that Porcelino. This pudding is okay as well. It's an emergency cheap blocker. Not particularly cheap. 4's quite expensive, actually. If I was going to play any of these over the Pekoms, I'd probably go with Daifuku. Or maybe pudding. I don't think it matters too much, to be honest. I don't think either of these are great options. Other 2Ks, I think Nola is an option. If specifically Jozu, 6-cost Jozu becomes particularly relevant again in RU Ace or something. Because this guy has the great on KO, but blue removal can deal with him. Raging Tiger, I'm not that worried about, because you very rarely, at least from my experience so far, you very rarely have 2 of these on the board. So Raging Tiger just like hits 1 and maybe a Cracker, which into Nami, I'm really like asked if they get rid of my Cracker. Basically spending 7 Don to remove a 5 cost. But if it becomes relevant in any other decks, I guess you could try Nola. And against Jozu, this is very good, because you can deny the bounce and the Katakuri, which is super relevant. So if Ace becomes a problem matchup, I think that's where the Nola would be good. That's about it for 2Ks. If you don't like the Dofi, you could try some different top end. This 9 mum is quite similar, honestly, to the Dofi. You remove 1 threat, and you get a heal, so you sort of undo a swing. It's alright. It does heal your opponent, which kind of sucks. But in certain matchups, that isn't too big a deal. But yeah, I think I broadly prefer the Dofi right now, although the big mum is searchable. And this 10 mum is probably always an option just as a one-off. The on-opponent's attack effect basically reads once per game, but it can just win the game when you use it. So there is that to consider. There is that. I do think this card is okay at maybe 1 copy, though I don't know. It's hard to look to include this when we have so many bricks already, and you'd probably be cutting into like your top end, maybe Sovereignty. But all these cards feel better than I envision this feeling. But maybe I'm wrong on that. If you're big, but like one of these isn't a bad play. A very brief mentions for a couple other things. Shiki's fine. If you go like Hakai into Shiki or putting Kata Shiki, that's a fairly reasonable play. Anana, I don't think there's much reason to play this anymore. There's so much interaction for these small blockers. And we like chaining 10 costs now, so it's harder to use this card, although it is still an option. I guess it's always worth mentioning the 4-cost Law. He's just a pretty reasonable card, but I don't think you'd want to play it in this build, given that he's unsearchable, and we don't have that much raw draw outside of this pudding. So finding him might be a little bit awkward. And the last card I want to mention is the Sakazuki. I think this is actually, like, okay. Obviously, you don't get the ramp back, but the Don -1 procs this effect, so you'll get the Don back. That's no problem. And the debuff persisting is quite nice. I just wonder, is it just worse than this? And I think the answer is yes. On curve, this is an alternate to pudding, but because this is so reliable at getting you the ramp now, even on odds, even if you whiff the pudding, you can go straight from this to this pretty much all the time. So I don't know when I'd be playing this all that much. And it's another brick, which there's already so many of in this deck. So I think Sakazuki could be something you might see people play. But I don't know, man. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me too much. And yeah, once we get OP17, I think both of these Kaidos are fairly interesting. This guy, particularly turning all your bricks into counters, feels very useful for this deck. Although I do wonder if he's just worse than the purple Kaido leader. Because they're quite similar effects. They're not the same, but they're quite similar. So I do wonder if the purple Kaido is just better as a leader. But yeah, both of these Kaidos I think could be interesting. They're both searchable off We Can Claim the One Piece. And the big blocker being something useful to ramp to that's not Tenmum. And giving you free bonds as well. For maybe you can introduce some counter events again. Or more copies of this, because you're going to have 2 active. Something to consider once we get these cards. And this guy just being able to remove something on curve whilst giving you that counter effect. Or the other effect. Feels pretty damn strong. But yeah, not sure. We're a long time before these come up. But yeah, this is where I'm at the minute. Hope you enjoyed the games. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day.